So I'm from Seattle. I was originally diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma. It's a
Hmm.
bone cancer, and I was diagnosed in 2015 when I was 14 years old, and it was stage 3 at the time. I I got it treated. I got treated at Seattle Children's Hospital
Hmm.
through chemotherapy and through a bone graft, if I remember correctly.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was on my left tibia in my leg. And it was funny. I like to tell people I got cancer by square dancing
Yeah.
because with Ewing sarcoma, a lot of ways young people, it mostly affects young people, uh, if I remember correctly, males, but oddly enough, typically white people.
Hmm.
You can double check me on that, but I just thought
Yeah.
that was interesting. There's like a racial thing about that. Um, it's usually during like sports injuries. So I actually got hit in the leg during
Hmm.
square dancing, and I had this big bump, right?
Hmm.
And over time, I was like, oh, when's this thing going away? I went to the doctor. They said, put heat on it. Then they said, no, don't do that. Put some ice on it. And eventually it just seemed like it was kind of moving, and then it started getting bigger and affecting
Hmm.
my how I walked. And that was a little concerning given that I was about to go to Europe for the summer. So I went in this time to a different doctor and they did testing. And I remember they gave me two different pieces of paper. They said it was either Ewing sarcoma or osteosarcoma. And I
Hmm.
remember looking at the two and I was like, well, I suppose maybe I want it to be osteo since that's a little more popular, like maybe a little
Yeah.
more treatable because it's more common. But then I was like, but it'd be cooler to have Ewing sarcoma because it's more rare. And so that's what I got,
Uh-huh.
like as if I got to choose. But no, I was diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma. And so I wasn't able to, my whole world was upended. And it sounds like you have some experience with childhood cancer
Hmm.
yourself. So I'm sure you know exactly how that feels. And so,
Yeah, I was also 14 when I got diagnosed.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. I mean, not wonderful, but
Yeah, but
yeah, cool. Twinsies. Um, and so I battled that until February of 2016.
hmm.
And I was like, okay, cool. I did it. I don't
Hmm.
have to worry about it ever again. And for 3 years, I just lived out my life quite
Hmm.
normal, going to high school and whatnot. And in 2019, I got a relapse.
Oh.
Now,
Hmm.
this was actually quite upsetting because it was my senior year in high school,
Yeah.
and it started at the beginning of the second semester.
Hmm.
So it meant no prom, no award ceremonies. I was originally nominated, and then I won the U.S. Presidential Scholar Award, which is a award granted by the U.S. Department of Education, given out annually to graduating seniors. And
Hmm.
there's about 160 that win every year across the country, four out of my home state of Washington.
Hmm.
Um, anyway, so then to get to the point, I was one of them, and I was like, I was going to meet Trump when he was in office, and I was going to meet
Hmm.
like Betsy DeVos because she was Secretary of Education at the time. And I was like, that's pretty cool,
Yeah.
and I couldn't do any of that. So, but you know what? In a way, I made it my own. I made it better because I had my own prom that was covered in my local media,
Hmm.
and I made my local news by the NBC affiliate reported on me because I had my own ceremony for the presidential scholar
That's
at the
super
U.S.
cool.
Department of Education office in Seattle, and so it made it special for me. And
Hmm.
and that's a common theme with going for cancer treatment is it takes a village to raise a child. They say but the village really comes together at
Hmm.
once when you're going through cancer treatment, and I think that's quite apparent because so many people see what's going on, and they feel that they have to do something, especially when it's a child. So
Yeah.
I've really felt the community come together with me over those years. In 2021, I had a relapse, so that lasted a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, I had a stem cell transplant.
Okay.
It was my own cells, but it was like still called a transplant because they took it
Okay.
out of my body and then put it in me. And that was like a month in the hospital. I was lucky to be there only for a month. Most kids have to go in for longer than that. And it was like hell. I was like the most sick I've ever been. I was getting, oh my God, what do they call it? Mucositis up and down my throat. It was like the worst
Um,
thing ever.
I think I might
And
have to do something like that soon.
oh my God, hell
But
no.
I'm not,
No.
I don't think it's that, but it's like I forget the name of it. It's like some type of targeted radiation at like tumors.
So you're still getting treatment?
Yeah, because sorry to cut you off.
No, no, I want to hear
Um
about you too.
but I got cancer when I was 14 and then it was like localized in my lung.
Hmm.
So then they removed my lung and then it came back when I was like I think when I was 15. It wasn't that long after. Um But the type of cancer I have, it's carcinoid syndrome, so it's like really slow growing. So
Mm,
I've just been since I was like 15 to like now I'm 21. I've been on
right.
I take like pills every day and I get a shot once a month and it just like stabilizes it. And I'm pretty much asymptomatic, like I don't get any
That's good.
symptoms from like the medicine or from the cancer. So my oncologist is like just trying to keep me on this as long as possible.
That's awesome. Yeah.
No, yeah, I'm really grateful for it because like I feel like I've had like an abnormal experience where I wasn't really in the hospital much from like since that initial surgery that I had.
Right.
But yeah, but
Yeah.
down the
Every
line, she
cancer's
said,
different.
yeah,
Yeah.
she said that
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to do like some type of targeted something to like get rid of it because it's still here, but she doesn't want to do
Right.
that until like I like need it. She was like, I don't
Right.
want to
Right. Until
offend
it
you
grows
if
even
you're
more.
fine right now. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, continue.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's just crazy because yeah, yeah, some people have it like a long time, but it's
Hmm.
slow growing, and some people, unfortunately will pass away quickly or
Yeah.
fight it and beat it quickly because it's so aggressive, but because it's aggressive, they can treat it quickly. Mine has been both. So I mean, I still am fighting, hence like my pretty shiny head. So it's been 9 years.
Hmm.
Um,
Do you have it currently?
it's
Are you in treatment?
stable. In
Oh,
fact,
okay,
it's
stable.
depending on which of my doctors you ask. Some will say like, oh, there's no evidence of disease because it could be something else, but there's like
Hmm.
something there. Whether or not it's cancer is yet to be seen, but it's probably because I've been going through this 4 times. So
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's probably it. But yeah, so anyway, 2019 came and then COVID came. And at that point in my life, I felt really isolated. I
Hmm.
started attending University of Washington, Seattle, but I had to well, I was taking it, I was doing it during COVID, but I eventually dropped out because I felt that it wasn't worth the stress nor the money, and
Hmm.
I was just feeling really isolated and just doing like just unhealthy things, and it was really sad. I was in Eastern Washington, which is
Hmm.
really rural, and I did that to because under the understanding that maybe COVID would be harder on me than other people.
Yeah.
Which actually wasn't the case, luckily. So, but anyway, so I just kind of did that. I met my now fiance,
Oh, congrats.
Brian. Thank you. It's pretty recent. We got engaged in late July.
Hmm.
So, still getting used to the whole title. But I met him in 2020. And then in 2021, after I met him for 6 months, I was like, I got diagnosed again. I was like, listen, I know you haven't dealt with anything like this. If you want to
Hmm.
leave, that's totally okay. 6 months isn't a lot of time. And that night, he moved in with me in my parents' house, and we've been together ever since, which is just fantastic. So
That's
we've
great.
been together over 4 years now.
Hmm.
Thank you. And so he was with me. It kind of, and that's an interesting thing about what I've gone through, and maybe you can attest to that somewhat too, is how when I was diagnosed as a child, and my parents and my family were like my caretakers, and then
Yeah.
as becoming an adult and growing up, now it's my partner, and now it's kind of more on me. to handle the billing and just handle my own care.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's just kind of weird to think of it that way. But
How was that like transition from like relying on your parents versus starting to do it in your adult life yourself?
it's very slow. And the reason why it was so slow for me because my parents didn't want to give me choices. They really were used to managing everything. And
Mm-hmm.
so it took them a long time before they felt comfortable letting me kind of manage my own care. Eventually, I just kind of had to put my foot down. When I got diagnosed the most recent time
Mm-hmm.
in 2023, I was telling my psychologist up until that point, if I ever get it again, I gotta move out of my parents' house. I can't live with them anymore. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get my own dog like I've always wanted. My
Did you
own
get a dog?
corgi. Yeah.
Oh,
And I moved out and I got my corgi. Eudora wanted to say hi. Here
I
she
love
is. Oh my gosh.
dogs.
I'm sorry. I'm like really obsessed with my dog. Eudora, over here. Come on, baby. Oh,
Oh, it's so
so
cute.
this is my little cancer dog.
Oh my God. Wait, is it a girl or a boy?
It's a little girl.
Oh, she's
Her
so
name is
cute.
Eudora, and she's a
Oh,
year and 5 months.
oh,
Yeah.
she's a baby.
Yeah.
She's so cute.
She looks even better in person.
I bet. I love corgis.
I
I
take
got
her
a
to the dog park
Yorkie
every day. A
when I got,
Yorkie?
yeah, when I got diagnosed when I was 14, I made my mom get me a dog.
Oh, that's wonderful. I love little cancer dogs.
I know. But he's 7 now? Yeah, he just turned 7.
Wow.
He's getting a little old.
Yeah.
But
Still got good years on him
no,
though. That's
Yorkies
good.
live a long time. I've seen Yorkies
Yeah.
to like 15. I was like, you're not going
Yeah.
anywhere.
Yeah. That's right. I had a Yorkie when I was a kid.
Hmm.
Lived to 13, I think. And we
Yeah,
didn't
they live a long
feed
time.
him very well either. So you treat him right, he'll live a long, long time.
Hopefully.
Um, anyway, so
Hmm.
I've always, I don't know where to end. I guess yeah, I'm just kind of in a standstill because right now I'm currently taking chemotherapy. I live across the street from my hospital.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
every like 3 weeks, I go in 8 days, basically in a row,
Mm,
and I get treatment and I feel bad, but then I rebound pretty quickly.
that's
And I've
good.
just been kind of enjoying life. I'm not working currently.
Hmm.
I have my real estate license, so that's something I
Cool.
was going to be doing before I relapsed. I actually got relapsed the day I got hired at John L.
No.
Scott. Yeah. But I've been finding fun things to fill my time
Hmm.
with. Um, I mean, I'm on the advisory board for Seattle Cancer Care as
Hmm.
well as Seattle Children's, and I used to do more with some other local organizations, but
Hmm.
um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I guess
No, that's
I didn't
perfect.
want to bore you either or take up too
No,
much of your
it's
time,
super interesting
but
to
there's a
hear about
lot.
everyone and their stories. Um, if you could like one of the questions I was asking people was like if you were to give your younger self advice on how to like deal with the diagnosis and going through treatments and everything, like what would that be?
I think I would tell myself, um, honestly, that my guttural reaction was like, don't worry so much about
Hmm.
the future. And I guess the reason why was because every speaking engagement I did, every, time, because I was in school a lot of the
Hmm.
time, and so a lot of it was building up to, eventually I wanted to be a dentist.
Hmm.
And maybe I'm only saying this because I'm still going for treatment and I'm not going to go back to college. I don't anticipate it, but like, I was really pushing myself in all of high school and college and really stressing myself out. And, I'm glad I did, but it never really materialized. So
Hmm.
I guess instead of just being so set on this is how things are going to be, right? Just be more flexible
Hmm.
and relax more and take care of yourself mentally because that's what matters in life.
Hmm.
Um, that was my gut reaction, but I think I have a better one that I'm thinking of right now, which is really accept help from
Hmm.
people. People want to give you help and take it with gratitude and really be appreciative when people do help. But um, yeah, don't expect people to help, but when people do, just take it and accept it, and
Yeah.
because that's what people want. People don't want you to go, oh, here's a gift, and you go, no, 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 I don't want it, I don't want it, I don't. You
Yeah.
know, like accept what
Accept
they
the
are
help.
giving you. Yeah, because
Yeah, I
that
think
makes them feel good too.
yeah, I used to have a hard time like accepting help from a lot of people because I just think I can do everything myself.
Yeah, yeah, that was definitely for me too. Yeah.
But you just like touched on mental health, so how like has that journey been? And like focusing on like prioritizing your mental health during treatments.
Um, I think it's starting when I first went through treatment, it wasn't something the hospital really focused on. And
Mm-hmm.
increasingly it has been a bigger part of of what the hospital focuses on in treatment is a more holistic approach to health. And I've never been one to feel that I've needed like extra attention, but of
Mm-hmm.
course everyone needs at least baseline attention when going through something as extreme as cancer treatment. And so I yeah, I guess I've just realized that a lot of the mistakes I've made in like my past could have been prevented with more mental health
Mm-hmm.
acknowledgement and treatment for that. And like now I'm actually on I see a psychiatrist because I realize that man, I'm getting stressed over things I shouldn't be stressed about. And
Yeah.
for so long I figured, oh, it's just like how I am and it's okay to be weird.
Mm-hmm.
And that's true to a certain extent, but when it starts to disrupt your daily behavior and your ability to get on with your day,
Yeah.
then that's when you need help. And so I think just understanding your body and understanding where your head's at will help you understand what you need. So really just being in tune with your body, and that's something that I think you learn pretty well when you're going through treatment, but it's
Mhm.
still for anyone like a learning curve.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, those are all the questions I had for you, but do you want to share anything else, like anything you want me to put in the post? I was asking people if there's anything they want me to bring awareness to, because I could also like prioritize writing about that as well.
Sure, I suppose the one thing I just want to stress, if you wanted to kind of make my story about something,
Hmm.
is just embracing like the unknown. Like
Okay.
I try to fill my day up with all sorts of fun stuff for me to do. And it's more than just like playing video games. Like I'm involved in my local politics and
Hmm.
like I take my dog to the dog park every day. We're gonna start agility training. Like
Uh-huh.
I keep my day busy with things that are like meaningful to me,
Hmm.
but just embrace that um well, yeah, that's the one thing is like just fill your day up with things that bring you value and that things that you value and things that give you purpose.
Hmm.
But then when you're, doing the actual your 9 to 5, just kind of accept that things are always changing in the world. There's nothing that's constant,
Hmm.
and just try to accept the unknown. Try to accept the reality that you're not going to know what's going to happen with your cancer treatment. Um, and yeah, that does tie in with cancer too, because you get scans and there's a lot of unknown with that. So just kind of realizing that life is like waiting for scans.
Yeah, that's a good quote.
Yeah, thank you.